Good afternoon. As I said, my name is Jacqueline Cashin. I'm the Bids and Contracts Manager for the Connecticut Library Consortium. This is the CLC Library Equipment and Technology Bid training. And we are starting now at 2 o'clock. To all of you, thank you for coming and thank you for being with us today. The bid duration today is August 8th to September 8th. We expect all bids to be in by September 8th. And the contract begins on January 1st, 2023. So who is the Connecticut Library Consortium? We are the resource center for over 900 academic, public, K-12, and special libraries. Our current growing marketplace is in the K-12 arena, and we have almost all of the public libraries except for a couple of very small volunteer libraries, and most all of our academic institutions in Connecticut. We follow state and federal bid law for public bids. We do member trainings and roundtables. We hold about 132 roundtables a year with different types of librarians. Today, in fact, we are having a roundtable with the directors of libraries, and we usually get between 10 and 30 members coming to each of our roundtables. So it's a very active and busy program, and it's a good place for us to ask our members what they'd like us to bid for next. We also do a job board. The job board is for all of the Connecticut library positions that are open at any given time. We do a performers catalog for library programming, and we also do various events during the year. We work very closely with the state library, with legislators, the Board of Regents for state academic institutions, and other state consortiums. I'm going to ask you to hold your questions till the end, and I'll answer any of your questions regarding any of the documents that we go over today. The CLC does public bids on a wide variety of products and services. So each institution doesn't have to do their own bids. And it provides a selection of vetted and awarded vendors for the libraries to choose from. So the benefit to our members is that we do all the bid work so that they don't have to. And we provide discounts on many of the products and services that they need. The benefit to our vendors is instead of replying to individual library bids all over the state, you only have to reply to this one bid, and all of the libraries in the state can use these contracts instead of having to go out to bid. So that allows them to be in compliance, and it allows the vendors not to have to compete with other vendors in the state. The vendor becomes an exclusive resource and no longer has to compete with other vendors for the work, and the vendor becomes a CLC state supplier for libraries and other associated members that we have. Is there a fee to be a vendor? Yes. The vendor pays 2% of all sales, that's discounted sales, sales to members through an admin fee. The fee pays for the 5 employees of the CLC to do this work, and it supports the libraries in that they have a resource center to provide this service. The members also pay a small stipend to the organization to support the Common Place as a clearinghouse for training, events, and public bids. This alleviates our members from having to do the bid work and the vendors from having to respond to multiple bids. So who's deciding who will be awarded on this CLC contract? Every time we do a bid, we have a different team of experts that help us with the evaluation process. This time, there are several subject matter experts on the evaluation team that we've asked to do this evaluation from a nonprofit library technology cooperative. There are 5 members of that cooperative who have offered to do the evaluation for this bid, and they agreed to review all the bids and evaluate each one based on their individual expertise in their organization. Also on the evaluation team is the executive director of the CLC and our member services manager. This is our timeline. We keep a master workflow for all of our bids, and so it's easily shared with all of our vendors, and it allows us to keep everybody apprised of how we're doing our bid work. As you can see, we advertised the bid and sent out our legal notices on the 8th of August. There were several other things that we had to do during that timeline, and we're in the process of the questions and answers posting to the DAS site. And you can also send me a question through an email that's also posted on the bid front page. We're going to collect and timestamp all bids on September 8th, 2022, and open them on that day. On that day, we keep a list of opening participants. Anyone who wants to come and see the opening is, of course, welcome to do so. It's an open and public bid, so anyone is allowed to be there during the opening. We check all bids for the signed documents that we're asking you for. We list all of the attendees at the opening and all the proposals received on that day. And then we're going to compile the bids and send them to the evaluation team on the 14th of September. On the 28th, we expect to have our big bid meeting. We're hoping that our evaluation team members will have all of their evaluations done in that 2-week time frame, and we will meet all together on the 28th to decide on the bids. Usually what happens during that time is the evaluators have questions that we need to answer before a yes or no can be gleaned from that process. So although it does say that we're recommending to the executive director who will be awarded, it is possible that it will be another couple of days before that happens so that we can get any questions answered. Someone is here. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. All right. So now we're going to go through the bid document. Okay. So this is our bid document. By now, you've probably downloaded the document. The request for response is called RFR LE 101, which is Library Equipment and Technology 101. We issued the bid on August 8th, and the due date is September 8th. There's me. If you need to get in touch with me, please use the vendor's email that's on the front page of the bid. At the top, you'll see a table of contents. This is where you can get the bid at the portal and search LE1. Well, this should say 01, but I think it cut off on this screen. I apologize for that. But there are 3 documents that you have to download. It's the bid, which is what you're looking at, a sample of the contract that will be asking you to sign, and the exhibit B. We'll go over those documents as we move forward through this training. The first part of the bid talks about CLC. This is who we are. We came into being through as a statewide nonprofit through a statute, which was the creation of CSLUs in 1975 by the General Assembly. We're called,
Jackie,
yes.
Jackie, I apologize. We are still looking at a screen that says bid document, bid terms and conditions, federal compliance, selection criteria. I don't think we're looking at the right thing.
Thank you. I'm having problems finding this document now. Let me try again. Share. Here we are. Okay. I apologize for that. Let me start up at the top again. So as you can see, we're in the bid document, request for response, RFR LE 101, Library Equipment and Technology. There's the date issued and the date due. You can see the bids and contracts manager. There's my email on the very first page. Can everyone see this now?
Yes, all set.
Thank you. So there are 3 documents that you will see, the one that we have in front of you, which is the bid document. There's a sample contract for you to make notes on. If you have any comments about the contract, you can make comments on that contract. We won't be going over that today. And sign at the bottom of that contract to let us know that you have read it. Also, we'll be going over today Exhibit B, the pricing and discount schedule. And these can be downloaded at the portal for the Connecticut DAS CT Source Bid Board. And here we would search LE 101. So now we are in About CLC. This tells us a little bit about CLC, that we're a nonprofit 501c3 membership organization, that we have over 900 members, that we have K through 12 academic and higher education. We have special libraries, 98% of Connecticut public libraries, and 77% of the higher education institutions are members. 73% of Connecticut Public School District are members, and we have at least one CLC member, or that have at least one CLC member school. We're considered library cooperative library service units, and that is in section 11-9E of the Connecticut state statutes. We're an organization of different types of libraries whose purpose is to improve library service through coordinated planning, resource sharing, and the development of programs too costly or impractical for a single library to maintain. So that is who CLC is. And currently we have 95 contracts with vendors. And this library equipment contracts will add to that number. It is these are new contracts. We've not done these before inside the CLC. So the people that will be awarded this contract will be the first incumbents for this contract. Next, we have the scope of services. We're seeking proposals for library equipment and technology. The bid will result in contracts for 3 years with 2 options to renew for 1 year each. That's a total of 5 years. Any eligible member of CLC can participate in these bid solicitations unless you expressly say in the bid document in the Exhibit B that they are not allowed to purchase through you. So as a good example is there are some children's books suppliers that do not supply adult or textbooks, and those would be stipulated in the questions and answers that we ask for in Exhibit B, which we will go over next. So the 2 million annually is a benchmark. Many of the contracts meet 2 million, some don't. This is a brand new bid, so we don't necessarily know what that number is, but resulting from research in the industry, that is an average. But the Connecticut Library Consortium doesn't guarantee that there will be any specific amount of business that will be generated during this process. We will see that as we go, but all the vetted suppliers will be working directly with our members. We put in a small and minority business stipulation here because in the state of Connecticut, there is a 25% set aside program for municipalities. Basically, what that means is that all public spending for municipalities will be, for 25% of it will be used in supporting small and minority businesses. So this specifically is for Connecticut businesses. Even if you are a small and minority business, you may participate in this bid, but you might not be qualified to do the small and minority business set aside. There are 2 different things. The set aside is specifically for Connecticut businesses, but there's also other programs that libraries use that use small businesses from any place, small or minority or women-owned businesses from anywhere. So we're asking specifically if you are a Connecticut small or minority business, and then we are also asking if you are a small and minority business from anywhere. This goes over a little bit about how to register as a small and minority business through the federal SAM system and also through the state of Connecticut small minority business application. It's a very brief application. The law is stated here, CGS 32.9, 32-9N. You have to go through the federal SAM system first to get a number before you go through the DAS supplier registration. However, there are links here for you to understand that process. The classification code will be needed for you to fill out the DAS, Connecticut DAS supplier registration. Here's the category list. The category list for library equipment is quite extensive. If you do not fit comfortably in this list, or the technology list that we are showing you, and there's also an additional list here at the bottom. If you don't fit comfortably into any of those categories, we have an additional relevant category. If you have library equipment that you don't see here and you think should have been on the list, you can put that in the Exhibit B. We'll show you there when we go there next. Also, there's the entire catalog. This is to help members complete their invoice. So if you sell a product that's very specific to library equipment and you sell other products like accessories or perhaps teachables, or advertising posters to go with your equipment, you can select the entire catalog and give a discount on all of the rest of the things that you offer so that the member has the convenience of finishing their invoice. It isn't the sole focus of this library equipment contract to sell those other things specifically. However, each supplier does have their own things that they may sell with their equipment that they'd like to provide to members at an additional discount, and they may use the entire catalog category for that purpose. It's not required, but it is an option that you can use. Associated software, many of the equipment items that we're asking for might have associated software that comes with the equipment, but it costs extra. So we are asking you to add that software, of course, to the bid. However, we're not asking for standalone software. So if you have a software product that you also sell, that's a standalone product that doesn't have to do with your equipment, that's not what the bid is about. So we're asking to only supply software that is related to the equipment that you're selling. The associated services must be related to the equipment as well. And we're asking for contracted vendors that only offer third-party products for brands that have been awarded. We're not doing lease or rentals of equipment on this bid, and we're not doing cell phone equipment either. We have a place for commodity specifications here. This is self-explanatory. It just tells you that the equipment will be in new and good working order when it's delivered. And there's something here about the service, parts and warranties and extended warranties requirements that are basically free from defects, and it explains the defect return policy that we would like to see you offer. And we'd also have a statement in here that says all goods and services furnished will be free from liens, encumbrances, and defects in design. There's also installation specifications here for you. For those people that actually do installation, there's many products in the equipment category that do not require installation. They're simply shipped, and that's fine as well. But if there is installation involved, there are several specifications for installation here. And also when the successful installation is achieved is here. The qualifications, freight, delivery, not specific because bigger, larger equipment will be shipped differently than smaller equipment. And then there's also the Connecticut prevailing wage clause here. The prevailing wage clause is an important part of any public bid, and you'll see them in the link that has been provided. If you'd like to know more about the Connecticut prevailing wage clause or information about that, we have provided a link for you. The prices and discounts, this is an example only. 20% off MSRP might sound large or sound small for you. For some commodities, 20% is small. For some others, it's large. This is an example only. And basically, it's telling you you can put 20% off MSRP, 20% off list, off catalog, You can also do a volume discount, which is purchases over some amount is 20%, and then over some other amount is more. You can do it based on online orders. Say if you would like to move people into an online order process, and you want to encourage them to do that, you can give them an additional discount to do that. The entire catalog, which we discussed earlier, you can give them a flat discount or some other discount based on the entire catalog that you'd like to offer to finish their invoice. There might be a multi-year service or software contract discount. There may not be. And this would, because it's a 3-year contract, you may offer that for a certain number of years. There's also a place in the Exhibit B for volume tier discount structures, and we'll show you that when we go into the Exhibit B discount and product sheet. We're asking that invoices that the members be allowed to invoice after July 1st within a reasonable time. We understand that if something is purchased in January, obviously it cannot be billed after July 1st. But if there is a way that you can do that and you can stipulate to us how you can do that, we ask you to do that. At this time, we're not allowing any surcharges that are permanent on any products. There may come a time when, especially during the supply chain issues that we've been having in the last few years, that there may be a brief surcharge. And we will work on that together if that is a necessity, so that we can tell our members and we can let them know how long that surcharge will be on the product or on the freight or whatever it is on. But we're asking that no blanket surcharges be allowed for the duration of the contract. A very important component of this bid is the company and product description. We're asking for a lot of information, and this is mainly because library equipment is a commodity that has a lot of, it could be constructed or could have a lot of different products that are components that are in the price list. So for the company and product description, we're not limiting you to how many pages that needs to be. However, we are specifically asking for your vendor qualifications profile, the summary of the solutions that you're offering, the summary of the discounts and any value add services, because there really isn't a lot of space on the Exhibit B for all of this information. An indication of your current market share, a statement of how you will transition any of your current customers who are CLC members to this contract, and several descriptions of available training resources, available customer or product support resources, available usage statistics, data or analytics, a copy of your return policy, and a copy of any applicable warranties. Your fee schedules for delivery, installation, or repairs, and a copy of your equipment removal and disposal policy. In addition, we're asking for a statement of your company's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, including any non-discrimination or diversity policies. So that is all going to be in a white paper that we're asking for, and those will be sent to our evaluation committee members. So here's our guide to proposal submissions. We would like a copy of your bid response signature page, which is at the bottom of this bid, just the signature page, fully executed. The Exhibit B, which we'll be looking at next, which is the pricing and discount schedule, the company and product description, which we've just gone over, a signed contract template with any requested changes that you would like to make to the contract template, and a copy of your vendor non-discrimination policy, which you can include in the company and product description. We must have the proposal by September 8th, 2022 at 2 o'clock. Any proposal that is received after that time will be rejected. And with that proposal, we would like a flash drive with all of the electronic files of a copy of the files that we've just mentioned on that thumb drive. And if you can't send a thumb drive, we ask that you send an email to the vendor's email that's at the top of this document within an hour after the bid closes. So that would be by 3 p.m. September 8th 2022, you can send the electronic files to the vendor's email above. We're asking you to mark the package with the RFR title and the number on the front cover so that we don't open it early in order to not disqualify any bids. And we cannot accept any bids that are after that time. This is a statement about the Freedom of Information Act. Almost all bid documents are discoverable in the state of Connecticut. And if there are any specific things, intellectual property or personal information about any person mentioned in the bid, we ask that you mark that very clearly that it's confidential and proprietary. So as we fulfill any Freedom of Information Act, we will exclude that specific data that you've asked us to keep in confidence. The following I will not read to you. They're just outlines of this bid and can just be read. If you have any questions about those things, please feel free to reach out to me. And I won't go over those. I will go to the selection criteria, however. A selection committee will review and score all these proposals. We've discussed the selection committee already. The selection committee will be using these guidelines: timeliness and accuracy of the bid, quality and relevance of the solution, pricing and amount of discount savings, customer service training and support, installation, delivery, maintenance, repairs, and warranties, value add services, customization options, and then small businesses will be evaluated in a separate small business category. The evaluation committee has a weighted way of determining the most responsive and responsible bidders, and we'll be doing those awards. The response checklist just reminds you of the different documents that you will have to present to us: the bid pricing, which we will go over in a moment, the company and product description, the signed contract template, a signed copy of the signature page, which is at the bottom of this document, and a copy of your vendor non-discrimination policy. This is the address that you send that to, 234 Court Street in Middletown, Connecticut, and no later than 2:00 p.m. September 8th on 2022. This is the signature page. We're asking you to print, sign, and return this form for your bid submission. This tells us that your bid has been signed by someone in your company who is authorized to do that and is printed out and sent to us. Thank you. So the next document we'll be going over is the Exhibit B. This is the Exhibit B. This is the Library Equipment and Technology Product and Discount Schedule. On the very first tab, it says Instructions. This is the tab where you put your company name, contact name, phone number, address, city, state, zip, and email. Failure to fill these out actually sends a lot of confusion, because then we end up with an entire document and we don't know who it belongs to. So please fill this first part out. Very important. Thank you. Below, it tells you which color each of the requirements are under. Bid questions are red, bid forms, vendor terms, and discount schedule are green, optional value-added services blue, additional discounts in yellow. And here are the instructions. The bid questions are short. However, they are important because it tells us what the market restrictions are, if you have any, how the pricing or discount or value-added service is unique for our CLC members, how you transition existing customers. We saw that in the bid document. The bulk volume discounts. Now we're asking if there's a yes or a no. This will indicate to us that we have to go to the tab where the bulk discounts are offered so that we can look at those. So yes or no, bulk discounts, other services or discounts to be offered, yes or no, and value adds also yes and no. So it just lets us know that we need to go to the other parts of the document to find the services that you have offered us. For the sales and ordering, We're asking whether the members will have a specifically designated sales representative and or customer service representative, and that is a yes or no. So if they are going to have one, we're asking you to respond here, yes or no. And also how the member would verify that they are getting their discount. You could put a small clause in here letting us know how to answer that question for them. And also some of the numbers: toll-free ordering, fax ordering, or electronic ordering. You don't necessarily have to have all the ordering, but because many don't have fax ordering. But if you do, let us know what the numbers are. Twice a year, we send out the reporting. We discussed the admin fee very briefly. We send out a standard reporting. We send it out in January and in July. And it's very basic. It asks what member that you worked with, what the list price was, what the discount was, what the CLC price was. That's really all that's on there. The second page of that document just asks you to update your contacts if there's a new salesperson or a new ordering number. But it's a very simple document, and we send it twice a year in January and July, and it's due in February and August. And the final thing on this page is the temporary online account for evaluation team. The evaluation team needs a way to look at your products and services and your pricing. So we're asking you to provide either a web address or a demo address or something like that so that we can send that to them for them to look at. If there's a trial user ID and a password that they need, provide that here as well, and any instructions that you feel that they need to access that pricing and or equipment. These are the bid forms. These are state bid forms. They are required in most bids, state bids. The first one is a non-collusion certification statement that you and CLC has not colluded to make this offer exclusively to you, that this is a fair and open process. This just tells us that, yes, we have participated in a fair and open process. We're only asking for a signature, name and title here, and the date. The second is the non-discrimination statement. This is a provision of the Executive Order number 3 from a former Governor, Thomas Meskel, from 1971, that this contract is subject to these stipulations of non-discrimination. So we ask that you read this, and this signifies that you have read the statement, and we're asking for a signature and a date. And finally, the affirmation of the receipt of state ethics summary. The CLC, under our guidelines, are asked to provide you with the ethics summary of the state of Connecticut. At the bottom of this form is the HTTP address of where the ethics are located. So we have provided you with a summary of these ethics laws by providing you with this link. So we're asking that you sign and date this, that you have actually received this link. And that's really all that this is asking, that you, as the contractor, subcontractor, have been informed and have received the link. So we're asking you to make sure that you print this out and send it along with your bid submission with the signatures. The vendor terms are specifically how our members can do business with you. So these are all of the things that our members need to know in order to successfully do business with you. It's also a way for us to tell our marketing team how to construct your landing page. Your landing page will have some of the stipulations here, what credit cards you take, what your delivery policy is, any special references or account numbers that you would like to have the members use to get their pricing, what the login is, your return policy. All of these things are how our members can do business with you. So we like to have these in advance as we construct these pages so we can let our members know. And we're asking you just to fill these things in, especially if you're a small minority business, or if you are an authorized dealer or distributor. This just lets our members know, how to do business with you. So that's the significance of this page. The more you fill it out, the better it will be for us to guide our members through the process of purchasing equipment through you. The discount schedule is what our evaluation team will be looking at. We're asking that you put the product name, the product manufacturer, or brand name, whether you're bidding the entire brand or not. And we have a drop-down menu here. At the top, I've already selected something, but you may have something that you choose here. The entire catalog is at the bottom. If you look at the second drop-down, there's a blank space. If your product is an additional category, you'll have to type in additional category here. We'd like the product website link if it's available, suggested manufacturer list price, the discount you're offering, and the net price. This is the freight price. This is the freight. It might be variable depending on who you use, but if you have a freight charge that's standard, you can put that in here. And later in this document, there's the dealers that you might use. You may add dealers if you have more than 3, but just name, address, phone number, email here for any dealers that you might use if you happen to be a manufacturer or if you happen to work with separate parties, to put that information in here. The value-added services, given you a few examples: onboarding fees, networking services, security. However, if none of these apply to you, at the bottom here, we have also added other. So those things might apply better to your business. So please feel free to use those options if necessary. If these options work for you, just give us a brief description and the amount charged for these services. Finally, under additional discounts, we've given you an example. This example is not standard a requirement for CLC. And I have put here modify ranges if necessary. This volume price break might be prices, might be number of students, FTE, might be different numbers. But this, if you use these numbers, that's great. You can use the percentage discount here. If not, you can reproduce this table in other places on this document and tell us what your price range is and what your volume discount is. And any other discount, are there multi-year discounts? Are there multi-unit discounts? And you can use an explanation here. So use this final page to do your volume or tiered discounts, and any additional information that you'd like to tell us about that can go at the bottom. Okay. So we've gone over that, and now I'm opening up the floor for any questions that anyone might have. No questions?
Will this recording be made available to us?
Yes, actually, it's being recorded now, and it will be sent to all suppliers equally. Definitely.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And second question, if we are currently already doing business with a few public libraries, would this contract change that prior relationship?
No, it changes the future relationship, really, because with equipment, it usually means that something has been dropped off and is sold. So it would change the future relationship in that if something new was purchased, that would be under the CLC contract.
Okay, excellent.
Not knowing what you sell, I'm hoping that that there may be an ongoing relationship, but I'm assuming that usually for library equipment, something is usually purchased and dropped or installed, and the new thing is what would be on the contract.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That explains it.
Anyone else? Well, I want to thank you all for coming. I'm hoping that this recording was helpful to you. And I'll remind you that the vendor email is on the first page. Please feel free to write to me if you have any other questions as you navigate through the bid. And I look forward to seeing all of your bids. Thank you for coming and have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks so much, Jackie.
Thank you.
Yay.